What's up, everybody? I think this thing's on. Doot, doot, doot. Is this on? How y'all doing? I think we're good. We're good to go. Can you guys hear me? Write in the chat if you can. All right, cool. Perfect. What's up, guys? How are you? Ian, you said you. My name's Lauren Lee, friend of Taylor Cummings, midfielder for the WPLL fight, and I went to the University of Florida. Really happy to jump on here today to kind of answer your guys' questions that you may have. Shout out to Taylor. Thank you so much for letting me have this platform to share a little bit about myself. So I hope you guys are really staying safe during this quarantine. I know it's kind of somber time, so maybe we can discuss some things that you guys can be doing during this quarantine and ways to make sure you guys are safe. So let's get right into it, shall we? First question that we have is, what are you doing about the virus? Still practicing with other players? Have you been tested, wearing masks? If so, what kind? Any hints as to when/where we will see games? So I have been taking this quarantine very seriously. I think everybody should be doing their part in lessening the curve of the virus right now. So definitely practicing social distancing. I think that's really important during this time. I'm not practicing with other players. I think that's really sad, but in order for us to do our part as a community and as a country, we need to be doing that active social distancing. So I've been doing a lot of stuff by myself with lacrosse and fitness-wise, which has been quite humbling to say the least. And I think that we can all put it into perspective how much we miss lacrosse, how much we shouldn't be taking it for granted. But, you know, at the end of the day, we got to do what we got to do. Wearing masks. I think that if you have access to masks right now, I think that there's a specific safety standard that lots of nurses, doctors, OTs, PTs are in need of. So if you have a specific level of safety regarding this mask, I think that you should maybe consider donating it to those people that are in contact with those who have the virus. But as my part, if I'm going out, I think that you guys should look into Pro Athletics. They actually just recently released their line of masks by Jerry Raganese. He actually plays within the PLL, and he's doing his part to help everybody as a whole. But that's a great question. Thank you. What have you been watching? Tiger King. I also just finished All American. Yes, I have been watching Tiger King. I think it's that show is absolutely ridiculous, twists and turns, quite crazy. But some Netflix shows that I love watching are Stranger Things, Breaking Bad, The OA, things like that. But I actually haven't finished Tiger King. If you guys have seen that, let me know. But don't give me any spoilers. Favorite workout routine? Good question. So I like to do a lot of high intensity interval training, but I also really, really love strength training. I think that that's my favorite thing to do. I love weightlifting. So when I went to college, this was a great thing for me. I loved being in the weight room much more than I like running, which is unique because I am a midfielder, so I'm doing a lot of running as well. But I love Olympic style lifting. I love CrossFit workouts. So really bummed that gyms are closed right now. So been doing a lot of that on my own at home. Luckily, I have like a barbell with weights, and so I've been doing a lot of outdoor workouts in my backyard. So what do you do to stay in shape for lacrosse season? I think that you need to continually mix up those workout routines. Make sure that you're getting those muscles firing and getting some muscle memory. This can be through long distance runs, switching it up between sprint intervals, weight training in regards to Olympic lifting, interval training that you can do, and then you can do like body weight stuff too. So as long as you guys are mixing it up, I think you'll be in great shape come lacrosse season. How do you stay motivated? Maya, you got some great questions here. How do you stay motivated? I think it's just the pressure of knowing that at any moment your lacrosse season can be done. I think that right now we're kind of seeing that. But in the professional scheme of things, when you are on a team, you only have one guaranteed year with your contract. And so you have to prove yourself time and time again on and off the field that you're worth being on that roster, which is, we only have like 18 spots right now, but I think that this upcoming season we're actually decreasing the amount of roster spots. So that in itself is motivation enough to do your part outside of, hey Taylor, outside of lacrosse to make sure that you're in shape. But then also you have players in this league that are unbelievable athletes, people that I've looked up to playing lacrosse for my entire life, like Katrina Dowd, and also Taylor. Taylor is one of the best athletes I've ever seen. I've grown up with Taylor. I know how hard she works, and that alone is motivation enough for me to get out there and get off of my butt and go run. So thank you, Taylor. Let's see, best game day foods. That's a great question. So I've actually have been vegetarian for the past 2 years. Come up July will be my 2 year. So when I was in college, I had a pre-game ritual of eating any type of chicken, pasta, getting those good proteins and carb mix, and then lots of fruits, veggies, and then since I transitioned to becoming a vegetarian, that has taken a big swing of things without getting my protein from meat. So it's really, really important for me to make sure that I'm getting all of those nutrition in different areas. So right now, big tofu girl, big beans, lentils, chickpeas, all of that nature. I feel better. I feel 100%, which is great. So good question. Best advice for a midfielder and a good defensive drill for midfielders. Best advice, you need to be in shape, like point blank period. If you're not in shape, you're not doing your part as a midfielder. We have an expectation that you should be able to run up and down the field, both on the offensive end and most importantly, the defensive end. So going into your question of the best defensive drill that you can do, if you can get outside and do 1v1s with a buddy, I would say that that's the best thing for you to do. But more importantly, adding to that is if you can go run a few sprints before you take your 1v1s with that offensive player, and doing 1v1s when you're tired is the most important thing. If you know that you can stop the girl 1v1 when you're dead tired on the field come game time, I think you'll be all right. So if you can practice that stamina and that confidence within yourself to do things when you are tired, because that's the name of the game when you're on midfield, you'll be great. What position do you play? So Grace asks, so that's a great question. I grew up playing behind the cage at X for my entire career until my senior year of college at UF. And then my coach told me that she wanted me on midfield. So my senior season at UF, I played midfield, which was a huge change. Definitely really, really different, but I wouldn't go back and change it for the world. I think it's so much more fun to play midfield and being involved on both sides of the field. So transitioning into the WPLL, I also play midfield as well. So it's been great. What's your favorite stick and stringing? So I go back and forth between a few sticks here. I actually brought them because I knew that this question would come along. So first, what I have, oh gosh, I don't even know what this is called. We'll start with this one. This is the Under Armour Emissary. So this one is true to my heart because I actually got it specially dyed in commemoration of my time at the University of Florida. So here we have all these gator scales. We have the gator logo up here with some palm trees on the side, and then my number 1 that I wore at Florida. And then we have spaceship popping off to Mars, because that's what we used to say as a team. With the shaft, I got a ECD Infinity shaft, really like the way it feels in my hands, and then got it taped up, obviously. Next stick that we're going with here is the ECD Infinity. I actually love this stick because I had a part in designing it. When I was an ECD sponsored athlete with them, we spent a whole year kind of going through this, making sure that this is everything that you want within a two-way midfielder. So obviously I love it with the mesh in here because my stick and that sweet spot can sit really, really high. I like my ball to sit really high in my pocket so I can get a quick feed off. It's got obviously this really pinched in head for some more control when you combine it with that mesh. So definitely love it because I helped design it. But thank you for that question. All right, how old were you when you started playing? That's a good question. I honestly don't know the year. I think I was like 6 maybe. Who is your best lax friend? I have lots of really, really, really good friends that I have gotten to know over the years of playing. Some that I still keep in contact with even from back in the day. They're still some of my best friends, including Taylor. So me and Taylor knew each other since we were literally like 8 years old. Grew up playing club ball and rec ball with her. Played on M&D club with her. Went through the ranks with her. Through all the lacrosse situations. So we kind of been through it all, been through the recruiting process together. And then unfortunately parted our ways in high school. She went to McDonough, I went to Spalding in Maryland, where we had to unfortunately play against each other from high school to college. Obviously I went to a different college than her, which was a bummer because my time there when we played Maryland, we got our butts kicked every single time. But it's always fun when you get to get on the field with people that you've grown up with. And then, luckily, I'm on Taylor's WPLO team, so it's great. All right. Do you take the draw? No, I do not. What drills are good for practice? Lately, I have been working on all of my footwork and my dodging ability. I know that I'm a great feeder. So that's something that I can kind of lean back on. I know that that's always in my skill set and my toolbox, but have noticed throughout the years that my dodging ability wasn't one of my strong suits. I'm a smaller player, so was kind of trying to avoid contact at all costs, but you know, going through the pro season process, I know that I have to be dynamic in all abilities. I can't just be a feeder. So some things that you could be doing are your dodges, but you need to be doing dodges that are applicable to game-like scenarios. So I would suggest maybe investing in some cones and some hurdles, and then also going to shakeschool.com because I'm a Shake School ambassador and I highly believe in the process and the drills that we teach to make you guys become an all-around better player. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you guys are doing well too. Go Gators. What's your favorite guilty pleasure? Whoa, let's see here. I feel like I have a lot of guilty pleasures. I'm not like that big of a snacker. But you know what's real? Should I even say this? You know what's really weird is I love like going on YouTube and I love watching like people who can eat things like really, really fast. So like people like Matt Stoney who are like in the hot dog competitions. I think that is the craziest talent of all time. Let's move on because that's a little weird, but hey. What's the best way to improve your game IQ during this downtime? That is actually such a great question, Aaron. What should be looked for in game replays, etc.? The best way for you to improve your game IQ is to watch games. If you have the ability to go back and watch yourself play, that would be great. But if not, there's tons of games on YouTube that you can go. And I would say to first start off with analyzing just one player. And this could be someone that you aspire to be, aspire to play like. Watch them and watch how they move, watch where they're looking, how they're dodging, and a lot of the setups that they create even off ball, and if you can go out and replicate those things. So if you're able to watch yourself, I know that when you get to college, if you are in college, I don't know if you are, film is a huge aspect of the college and the pro game. So we would watch film every day before practice at UF, and it's a very humbling experience because you go back and you see things that you're like, what the heck was I doing? What was I thinking? I should have done this. I should have done that. I should have passed it here. She was wide open, blah, 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 blah. So You'll definitely get to see your strengths, but unfortunately weaknesses do show on film. But that's a great way for you to attack those weaknesses, and that's how we get better as players. But that's a great question. Thank you. What's a good exercise to strengthen your wrists? Well, I really like to incorporate that with weightlifting. So if you can curl like this, but I think Taylor might be a better person to ask that question because she is a draw specialist. She's a beast, and I'm sure she probably has some YouTube videos discussing that topic. Wall ball routine. Recently, since I only have a bounce back in my backyard, I've been doing as many as I can on my dominant hand, as many as you can on your non-dom, and then what I like to do is throw it with the dom hand, catch offside, and then throw it back to the bounce back when it's offside. So you're throw, catch, pass, throw, catch, pass. Then some BTBs, quick sticks, anything you can do, but also I like doing wall ball on the run. You're really never catching the ball in the game of lacrosse when you're standing still unless you're kind of stalling the ball. So really important for you guys to kind of shuffle along on the wall, move back and forth, get some longer distance passes. What's your mile time? Good God. I don't even want to answer that question. Yesterday I went on a run, like a more of a long distance run. I really hate running, so when season comes around, that's when I really start pushing long distance runs. But yesterday I went on a run and didn't go too well. Any tips for players who are trying to go D1? Practice as much as you can. Now is the time, especially during this quarantine, to be sharpening those individual skills. What is going on with that light here? Those individual skills that stick work, footwork, dodging to cage, really start enhancing those abilities by having your stick in your hands. Try to do something every day, because trust me, that hard work will eventually pay off. If we want to go into that recruiting aspect, I will gladly answer any questions about that. But when you're trying to go D1, if you're in the recruiting scheme right now, I think it's really important to start the foundation of making a list of the colleges that you would want to go to. I did this, my coach told us to do this on my M&D club team. We were getting a lot of recognition from college coaches at the time because I'm pretty sure in our entire time that I was with that club, we only lost one game. And so that in itself really drew in a lot of the college coaches during the summer tournaments. So it was really important for us to have options. And I think that you should sit down with your parents and start listing out big, small schools, private, public. Does the college have your major that you might want to get into? I knew that I wanted to kind of go the health sciences route, so that was really important for me. I knew that I wanted to go to a big school. I knew that I wanted to kind of get away from home and experience what you call the college experience. And so, but beyond that, it was really important for me to go to all of these schools that were recruiting me and to test the waters in all areas and to really find out what I wanted within a college experience. Because when you are in high school, it's hard for you to know what you want unless you go to these colleges. So if you're fortunate enough to get out to any of these colleges, I would definitely try to go to as many as you can. What inspired you to play? Actually, my older brother played in college, and so I grew up in the backyard with him, and so he really inspired me because he was always playing in the backyard with his friends, and I always wanted to play too. So picked up the stick with him. I'm pretty sure it was a guy stick to begin with, and then haven't looked back since. How long have you known Taylor? Since I was 8. Do you know about M&D Lax? Of course, I played for M&D 12 Black. Hoorah, baby. Let's go. How do you gain your confidence if you fail or mess up that brings you down? That's a really great question, Jillian. Thank you. I think it's really important to have a short-term memory. We like to say that. If you fail in the aspect of when you're playing, you just have to know that you have your teammates to back you up at all times. See, this isn't an individual sport. If it was, you might want to go play tennis or something. but really important that you always know that they have your back, and it's on you to work even harder, bust your butt to make up for those mistakes. But you also have to have the confidence in knowing that you are able to do those things, and you have to be confident within your abilities. They say the most important muscle, not a muscle, but the most important aspect of sports is the thing between your ears, which is your brain. So don't let that negativity bring you down. Always be positive, always bring positivity to your teammates, and that in turn will help you. Favorite cheat meal? Chipotle. Thank you. I had Chipotle last night. So I am not with ECD anymore. My contract is up. So currently independent. Best drill for dodging are anything that you can do with game-like scenarios. So I really, really like to teach girls a 3-step dodge because you don't normally see that within girls who are just starting out. So within women's lacrosse, especially when you're younger, girls would just kind of do one move and go, and that will be sustainable for them when they get into high school, but it's not going to help you out when you get to college. So what I like to do is I like to say right, left, right. And so when you're approaching your defender, you want to be a stick's length away, make sure that you guys have enough room to do your dodge. That's really important. So you're obviously, if you wanted to go right, you're going to step right, jab left, and then you're going out right. So that's going to make them switch their hips open, and it's just another step. So you wouldn't want to go right, left, because you see that all the time. You can obviously mix that up. That's another thing in your toolbox. But if you can add that one more step, I trust you that you will be breaking some ankles. Another thing for dodging is to square up your defender. So what you can be doing when you square them up, that means you want to get square with their shoulders and how they're playing you. So when you do that, that gets them out of positioning. So if someone were to try to take away your top hand, obviously they're going to start positioning themselves in a manner that is going to force you to either go left. If you are a righty, want to go left. But if you start squaring up your body to them, they're going to have to move as well. They're going to continue getting out of their body positioning that they want to be in as a defender. And you should never let a defender dictate where you're going. You have the ball, you have the power. Best lacrosse advice you've been given as a student athlete? Obviously, 1, make the most of it, and 2, work smarter, not harder. My old coach, Erica LeGros, actually taught me that because I'm a really fast-paced athlete. I like to go 110 miles an hour 100% of the time, and sometimes that literally bit me in the butt. And so if you can slow down everything, slow down your brain. Obviously that body is going as fast as it can. You obviously want to work hard, but if you can slow down the game in your mind, trust me, it will come to you much easier. Alyssa here. Hey Lauren, can you please wish my mom a happy birthday? She is listening. Happy birthday! Another year. I hope you feel just as young as you were yesterday. Okay. Whoa, this just jumped down. Sorry. I'm a really slow reader, it seems, or a slow answer. Since I know you're a strong, independent woman, how would you practice a draw by yourself? I believe Taylor, I'm only a child. Taylor actually has a great video on her YouTube channel. I've actually watched it, and I've never taken a draw in my life. How you can be doing the draw on your own, in your backyard, utilizing either a goal or just your stick. She also did a LaxCon demo, and she provided that on her YouTube channel too. So really, really go check that out. Subscribe to her YouTube channel. Thanks again, Taylor, for having me on. Appreciate it. How does the dye hold up? On my stick, I'm assuming, because my hair dye is just not working out too well during this quarantine. But on the stick, it's held up great. I got that dyed, I think, probably over a year and a half ago, and it hasn't faded at all. So advice for being a midfielder on the circle. That's a great question. You always want to box out as a midfielder on the circle. Box out, get in the circle, but also have constant communication with the girl that's doing the draw. she might want to pop it up really high, and in that case, you obviously want to box out for her, box out your opposing player, because then she has more time for her to go up, grab it, bring it down, and not have multiple people on top of her at that time. If you have constant communication of her wanting to place this somewhere over your head, you have to know that, and you have to have that ability of like, I'm not going to box out here and get in front, whereas I want to push out and get to that ball. Constant communication, that's the key. How do you get yourself in front of college coaches, and what do you include in your highlight video? Good question. You have to first start off with emailing. Email the college coaches, set up some type of template when you get a schedule for your club teams. I'm not sure if you play on a club team, Kindle, but I'm just assuming that you are. So you need to email them. Hi, Coach Amanda O'Leary at the University of Florida. I am Lauren Lee. I play for M&D Black 2012, and here is my summer schedule. I would greatly appreciate it if you would come by and check out my games that I have, and list a schedule and the field times, field locations, and the times that you're playing during these tournaments. What would you include in your highlight video? You want to include both positives and the negative aspects of your game when you are playing, but within those negatives, it's how you work just as hard to get that ball back. You want to show what you were doing before you scored that goal, what were you doing when you got those assists, and how you are as a teammate. I think coaches are really looking for athletes in general who are willing to work hard and bust their butts, but also how they are as teammates on and off the field. So really important for you guys to know, like, play as if somebody is watching you. Even if you don't think that college coaches are there, they can be watching from the stands and you might not even know it. So when you come off the field, are you going to be moody? Are you going to hang your head? Are you going to be pissed off? No, you can't, because you never know when someone's watching. And if you do show that type of behavior, you might be crossed off their list. So really important for you guys to stay positive, pump up your teammates, because that shows that you're in it for the long haul. Do you have any pets? Yes, I have a puppy. Well, she's 2 years old. Her name's Finley. She is a rescue. I love her to death. She turns 3 in September. What are some of your weaknesses, and how did you improve them to make them your strengths? I would say, especially during my junior year of college, I hit a mental block. I felt like I wasn't playing the way I could have been playing, was really just getting down on myself. And it's really important, like I said before, is to have a short-term memory, and I let that get the best of me, of my confidence dropping. So I obviously was internalizing that kind of stuff, and I wasn't playing to my capabilities because I was letting my mind hold me back physically. I knew what I was capable of, but I was just really upset that it wasn't showing on the field, and so I needed to obviously do the things to make sure that I was being the best, not only athlete that I could have been, or the best teammate that I could have been. And I don't think at the time when I was hitting this mental block that I was being the best teammate, because I was being so down on myself. But I think that come my senior year and going into this pro league, I had a newfound appreciation for the game. And when you have that, you just want to be out there at all times. And so when I improved that mentality aspect, my physical game improved so much more. How can I work on my left hand? Girl, you just got to go out there and play with your left hand. I know it might be hard. I know it might be challenging. Trust me, I'm still not 1,000% confident within my left hand as I am with my right. So that's something that I obviously have to work on every day. But when you keep working with that left hand, trust me, it's going to come to you. How do you manage your schedule as a student athlete in college? Oof, that's tough. That's definitely one of the hardest parts about being a collegiate athlete, is you have to have that time management skill. But I think that what I heard from Kylie, one of my friends, Kylie O'Miller, you guys probably know her, obviously, GOAT. But she said that you have been time managing your whole life. You've been to school, you play lacrosse right now, you manage your time, obviously probably with the help of your parents right now if you are a younger athlete, but you've been practicing this for a while. And then when you get to college, it might be, it's a lot at first, but you'll begin to manage your time. I think creating like a calendar, making sure that you have all of your assignments written down, what time is your practice, when can you be doing work before or after practice. Make sure you're getting that good nutrition in before, and really segmenting your day into specific times of when you can actually get some like leisure time, get some downtime to watch those Netflix shows, because that's important too. You need some type of restorative aspect within your day. But it's really important to know that you will have help in college. Most colleges will give you like an academic advisor, and I was in his office like every day, and they're there to help you. They're there to schedule your time and to manage that time efficiently so you are able to play lacrosse. Because if you don't, you won't be on the lacrosse field, unfortunately. But trust me, it comes to you. If you didn't go to Florida, where would you have gone? That is a really, really good question. So I looked at a lot of different schools, but towards the end of my recruiting process, I was in between Loyola and Florida. So two very different schools, but I think it's really important for you guys to know, if you are in the recruiting scheme right now, is when I look back on it, the only reason I had Loyola at the end of my list, well, it was Florida and Loyola, and the reason they were the top runners is because I really, really looked up to Loyola in their coaching staff. So that's Jen Adams and Dana Dobie. Really loved them. They sold a deal for me when I got on campus. But it's important to know that if they were to leave, if Jen Adams and Dana Dobie didn't coach at Loyola anymore, would I have loved the school? Would I have loved to be on that lacrosse field every single day? And go to school there. So that's really important. You guys need to take that away from things. If lacrosse wasn't there, would you love the school? And for me, that answer was no. And so Florida really had the entire package for me, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I couldn't, when this was all said and done, I would have never seen myself at another school besides Florida. How do you think the recruiting process has been affected due to this pandemic? Will college coaches and recruiters give more time, grace period with time and film, especially if the summer is canceled? That's a really good question, Sydney. Oh, sorry. Unfortunately, I don't have an answer for that, but I think it's important to stay positive with that. And I think that coaches are going to be doing what they can to make sure that they are going back and recruiting in the time frame that they were. So I do think that they will give some type of grace period or time with film, because they probably don't have much to be doing right now, just as we all are. So they probably are watching film. But unfortunately, I'm not a coach, so I don't know how that's happening. But I think it's really important to remember that we're all in the same situation. Nobody's out there playing lacrosse in front of college coaches right now. So it's not like anybody else out there has a one-up on you. So keep that in the back of your mind. What was the biggest adversity you faced in lacrosse? Any injuries or setbacks? So I actually had 2 injuries in my career. One was my leg injury that I had, I think it was my sophomore year of college, sophomore fall. So I wasn't able to play in the fall. And then most recently, before my first season with the Pro League, I had shoulder surgery, which set me back like 8 or 9 months. That was pretty terrible. I'm still constantly working to get my strength of motion and my strength back, my range of motion. So that was pretty tough for sure, because then I had to make sure that not only my fitness was great, but that I was able to even pass a lacrosse ball with my shoulder. Do you think that you and Taylor could ever come visit M&D in Orlando? Oh my gosh, I forgot that M&D had a team now in Florida, right? Is that with Chris Robinson? But I would love that. I'm sure Taylor would too. I would love to get back down in Florida. How long have we been on here? 34 minutes? All right, we're doing pretty well. Let's see. You should do live workouts on Instagram. I'm gonna leave that to Alex Ost. That's not my strong suit right now. I would love to give you guys some type of workout, but I think that she's doing great with her Instagram lives. No, I'm not with Under Armour, but Taylor is. What's Chef Lauren's best dish? That's a really good question. Ever since I went vegetarian, I've become a really, really great cook. But I think right now my best is like a tofu katsu. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but you guys should look it up. It's kind of like a sushi roll. I'm allergic to fish, and so whatever. It's like you roll up the tofu, you get, you pickle your own vegetables, and it's really, really delicious. I can send you guys a recipe if you want it. How did you like Shake School training? I'm obsessed with Shake School training. I love it. It's basically the only thing I do now for my dodging and footwork skills. Luckily, I am an ambassador, so Casey is always coaching me up and improving my game. I highly, highly recommend it. Oh, you're welcome, Alyssa. How crazy are UF home football games? Mako Sports. See, these are the questions that I love to answer. They say that it's a swamp for a reason because only Gators get out alive, and it is rated one of the most intimidating places to play college football in. So if you can imagine 90,000 plus fans screaming, how loud it is, it's intense. I love it. It's one of the best stadiums I've been a part of. But unfortunately, having a 90,000 stand stadium means that the lacrosse team has to run those for conditioning. So that was the only thing I didn't like about the stadium there. It was brutal. Are you involved with the WPLL Futures? I actually have done, I think I've done 3 WPLL Future tryouts as a coach and a evaluator. Highly recommend it because there's some great opportunities for you girls to be a part of if you do make the team. What year should you start emailing coaches? I believe, Taylor, I don't know if you're in this, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I started emailing coaches my sophomore year. Freshman or sophomore year, it's really important to try to get their eyes on you during those tournaments, because I believe that you can commit your junior year. So really important to give those college coaches time to come and see you. I want to begin recording and making videos, highlights of myself. What do you recommend on how to do this? Do you pay someone, or is this just simple having parents record? I'm assuming you're asking that question in like a game aspect, like getting a highlight tape together for you to send to college coaches, Alyssa. In that case, I do think it would be easy for you guys to, if you do have a video camera, to have a parent do it. That would be saving you guys a lot of money, but I do know that they have third-party services that will come and film you guys, but unfortunately that takes money. Are you doing any lacrosse workouts during quarantine? I have been participating in the Shake School Quarantine Challenge, and then also doing workouts on my own. I love to do, been doing a lot of backyard workouts right now. It's been really fun. Let's see. Let's answer a few more questions. We're nearing 40 minutes. What are some alternatives to sweets? Oh, I would definitely indulge in some smoothies to get your sweet fix. I actually had one this morning. So what I usually put in my smoothies are strawberries, any type of fruit that I have in the fridge, a big whopping handful of spinach, put some water in there. I make sure that I get a heaping scoop of whey protein just because I am a vegetarian and an athlete. Really important for you guys to be thinking about nutrition. And then what I put into it, I actually have these right here. Oh my God, that light is blinding. This is a organic flax chia seed blend. It is really healthy for you guys with your omega-3s and your fiber. Omega-3s are usually commonly found in like fish, but since I can't have that, I need to make sure that I'm getting that in order to have some proper energy. So highly recommend flax and chia seeds for you guys to put into your smoothies. Super easy. You don't have to like eat it by the spoonful. And then I put some peanut butter in my smoothies too. That's how you can indulge in your sweets. How do you go about getting a sponsorship? Example, let's say I'd like to do what you did with ECD. ECD actually contacted me. So I think that you might be able to email somebody and be like, listen, this is my name, blah, blah, blah. I think that I could bring this to you as a sponsored athlete. Here are some of my skill sets and what I plan to offer, put that out on the table. But fortunately for me, ECD contacted me personally. We set up a call and got things rocking from there. How do you sign up to work out with Shake School? Go to shakeschool.com, shakeschoolacross.com, and usually we will have a bunch of clinics around the East Coast. But unfortunately right now, I think everything is kind of pending. But if I hear of anything in Northern Virginia, I will be sure to let you know. All right, let's do a few more, because I feel like I could be on here all day. Thank you, Jillian. That's so nice. Love smoothies. Same girl. Best thing to do for your non-dominant hand to get better? Wall ball. 100%. Alicia? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Hi! How are you? I hope you're staying oh my God, I can't even speak anymore. I need to get off here soon. Staying safe and healthy as well. I have our picture together on my wall. Oh my God, that's so cute. Well, I hope to get to see you again soon, hopefully. We'll see. All right, we're nearing the end. How can you change as a player from high school to college on and off the field? Get in the weight room. Make sure you're doing the little things off the field to ensure that you will be an impact player when you get to college. But it's hard to tell what is expected of you until you're kind of immersed in the college experience. But luckily, when you get there, your coaches will have a great plan, and strength and conditioning coaches to ensure that you guys are the best athlete possible. Is the WPL futures for middle school? Grace, I'm actually not sure, but I believe that you have to be in high school because you can be invited to the U15, U17 tryouts for US. So that lines up with high school girls. But you might want to look into that. I could be giving you false information. Let's see. Let's do 3 more questions. What do you tend to do when you're in a rut or a bad mental place or struggling with working out or wall balling, etc.? I think just the hardest part is getting up and going and doing it. Once I get up and I'm in the groove, usually it's not hard for me to get going. I'm kind of the girl to be like, oh, an object in motion stays in motion. So if I like sit down, girl, I'm staying sitting down. So really important for me to just kind of wake up and get my workout done in the morning. That's usually what I like to do to make sure that I'm setting myself for a good day. But when you are in a rut, I think that you just need to lean on the things that make you happy. With me, that's my family and friends, and I love to be outside, and so I find peace and like tranquility from that. So if you know the things that make you happy besides like working out and stuff, and if that can motivate you to get out there, then I would say to indulge in those types of things. Thank you for being with us, taking time to answer questions. You're very welcome. Thank you, Taylor, for having me on here. This has been great opportunity to get to talk to you guys. Best memory from playing at Florida. Oh my God, you're gonna get me emotional. But just going out there and competing with my like best friends every single day. That's such like an honor and privilege to have that opportunity to play the sport that you love at the collegiate level. But favorite memory, I would say ALC championship against Northwestern. I believe that was my sophomore year, and then having a overtime win against Syracuse in the Dome. Molly Stevens, if you're watching this, you scored that goal, and I will never forget it. That was awesome. My parents are worried about me hurting my shoulder from playing a lot of lacrosse. Can that happen? I think I don't think that you should be worried about that, Grace. Playing timid and having those types of worries are only going to set you back. I didn't hurt my shoulder from playing lacrosse. I think that really you're not going to have like an overuse injury per se, but a lot of shoulder injuries come with contact. And so that's what happens when you fall down and you have body weight on top of you. You can be susceptible to dislocations and tears within like your labrum or rotator cuff. But I don't think that that's something that you need to worry about. When did you commit? I believe I committed in August of my junior year. Oh, that was a long time ago. That was in 2011, if you guys can believe that. I love that clock behind you. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, guys. I think that wraps it up for our Q&A session. So if you guys have any more questions, feel free to follow me on Instagram, laurenlee.1. You guys can find me. Feel free to shoot me a message. We can talk there. And thanks again, Taylor, for having me. Ian, thank you so much for setting this up. I appreciate it. And I hope you guys are staying safe. Stay healthy. Stay happy. Let's go. What are a great way to find clinics in your area? Go to TaylorCummingsLacrosse.com. Peace.